We're going to begin with a roll call this evening. As I call your name, please stay present to the members of the board. Mr. Schweitzer, Ms. Pinero, Mr. Hartman,
Present.
Mr. Halupka,
Present.
Ms. Hafford,
Present.
Ms. Wilson,
Present.
Mr. McGinnis. Here. Mr. Heckman. Present. Mr. Heinel. Mr. Perlow. Mr. Perlow. Okay. Mr. Warren. And Mr. Calgary.
Present.
Thank you, sir. We'll get to that in just a minute. But before we do, as is our custom, and I know everybody's sitting in their seat, we'd like to ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one
a nation
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty
and justice
for all.
Thank you. So board members, I want to introduce you to Mr. Henry Calgary. Mr. Calgary is an attorney here in Towson who's been appointed to serve as an at-large member by the county executive to our illustrious band, the Baltimore County Planning Board. So welcome, Mr. Calgary. Would you like to take a minute to just introduce yourself to the rest of the board members?
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. I'm very excited to be here today and to work with everybody here. Along with being a local attorney, I've also been involved with the local community association, which I'm president of, Campus Hills, and just been very interested. And the reason why I applied for this position is to help be a part of the positive change and forward movement and direction for Baltimore County. I'm really excited to be a part of it and to get to work.
Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, let's go over today's agenda. Mr. Davis, are there any changes to our agenda?
No, Mr. Chairman, there are no changes to the agenda as posted.
Thank you. In the October 8th email, you received draft minutes of the October 1st, 2020 meeting. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the draft minutes? I see heads nodding. That's a good thing. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Mr. Heckman's moved to approve. Is there a second? There was a second by Mr. Schweitzer. Any unreadiness? Not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed have the same right. The motion carries. The first item on the agenda this evening is amendment to our 10-year solid waste plan. Office building recycling. Moving on to items for introduction, we have Mr. Richard Keller here from the Department of Public Works to introduce an amendment to the 10-year solid waste plan for office building recycling. After Mr. Keller finishes his introduction, I will call for a motion to set a public hearing on the matter for November the 5th, 2020. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Keller. And if you're not speaking, I'm going to ask you to put your systems on mute. Mr. Keller, floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, this is Chris. Mr. Keller is trying to enter the meeting, but he has not yet. So we would like to move on to item number 2 for the moment.
Not a problem, Chris. We'll continue to move. So item number 2 on the agenda is the agricultural buildings value-added agricultural uses, resolution number 12-20. And for that, we will have Mr. Wally Lippincott from the Department of Planning to introduce to the board an overview of the staff report on agricultural buildings for value-added agriculture. After Mr. Lippincott has finished his introductions, I will call for a motion to set a public hearing on the matter for November the 5th, 2020. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Lippincott.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. Apologize for not having video, but I'm having little technical problems on that, so I'll just go forward with the microphone. Thank you. Yes, the staff is presenting its value-added report in response to Resolution 12-20. The Council passed 12-20 on January 6, 2020. The resolution charged the Planning Board to examine how other jurisdictions treat agricultural buildings used for value-added purposes and to recommend what Baltimore County can do to balance the interests of public safety, historical and agricultural preservation, and the present and future business interests of Baltimore County farmers. Just for a little clarification, by value-added purposes, so we're talking about the different types of agricultural uses involving the public that we're seeing more of, both in the county and around the country. Breweries, different types of farm activities, educational events, farm fairs, and all those things that, of course, have been growing in interest by the public to access the rural area. And, of course, Baltimore County is a leader in the nation in its land preservation and has a very vibrant agricultural community that has maintained an active agricultural industry. Okay, so this resolution called for the creation of a work group to be composed of various county agencies, farm business interests, and a community representative. Fortunately, we had Wayne McGinnis from the Planning Board on the committee, as well as Councilman Koch, who introduced the resolution, was also in our work group. We held 7 virtual meetings between June 11th, 2020 and September 8th, 2020. The report before you represents the product of the input of the committee and the staff's response. In brief, the report that you have before you does 4 things. It, 1, proposes new definitions for value-added agriculture to be scaled to the intensity of the public use. 2, it proposes consideration of changes to Baltimore County codes to better accommodate the conversion of ag buildings for value-added uses while protecting public safety. So by that we mean, existing beautiful bank barns out on the countryside. They were not built according to current code. They're going to be having varying numbers of the public come into those buildings. We need to find a way to protect public safety, but also make it economically viable for that business interest as farm interest. Number 3, we have to clarify the processes for both farmers and citizen groups. And on that, the processes are, as we heard from a number of comments from the participants of the work group, and as we ourselves found as we talked with other agencies, are very confusing and need to be clarified, made available on the web, etc. Number 4, and this was one of the more challenging parts also, was to clarify and provide steps to verify the exemption process for new ag structures. So those were the 4 main issues that we tackled. They are written extensively in the report, both what the comments were and the executive summary, what our recommendations are. And the staff this time is requesting the Planning Board to accept this report and to hold a public meeting on the recommendation. Thank you.
All right, you've heard Mr. Lippincott's introduction. Are there any questions? If not, We've also gotten the staff's request to set a hearing. The chair will entertain a motion.
Be it moved that the Baltimore County Planning Board sets a public hearing regarding the agricultural buildings value-added agricultural uses, resolution number 12-20 for Thursday, November 5th, 2020 at 5 p.m.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. I'm not sure who got to that one first.
Report.
Mr. Hartman, how's that? All right. You've heard the motion and it has been a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis, can we go back to the first item on the agenda?
Yes, my apologies for the technical difficulties, but Mr. Keller is with us and I will unmute him now.
Oh, okay, very good. So we'll go back to the first item on the agenda. And for that, we have Mr. Richard Keller here from the Department of Public Works to introduce amendment to the 10-year solid waste plan for office building recycling. After Mr. Keller finishes his introduction, I will call for a motion to set a public hearing on the matter November the 5th, 2020. Join me in welcoming Mr. Keller. Mr. Keller,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I'm going to turn my phone off because I was trying to use my phone as a backup. So you can still hear me?
We can.
Thank you very much. First of all, my sincere apologies for the technical difficulties. I've been having some issues with WebEx recently and was on the phone for a while this afternoon. So I apologize for having you readjust the hearing schedule, and I appreciate your willingness to do that. So this amendment is an amendment to our 10-year solid waste plan, 10-year solid waste management plan on office building recycling. And the basic idea of this particular amendment is that it requires all buildings with more than 150,000 square feet to establish a recycling program. And because we need to make sure that you are in concurrence with this, we are requesting a public hearing on the amendment to the 10-year plan.
Very good. You've heard the introduction. Are there any questions, Mr. Keller?
Questions from me or from the group?
From the board to you.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No problem.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many buildings of 150,000 square feet are there in Baltimore County approximately? Do you know?
Approximately 20.
Okay. All right. Very good. Chair will entertain a motion.
Be it moved that the Baltimore County Planning Board sets a public hearing regarding amendment to the 10-year solid waste and plan for the Office of Building and Recycling for Thursday, November 5th, 2020 at 5 p.m.
Okay, board members, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. By Ms. Wolfson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right. Motion carries. And our hearing has been set.
I would just like to recognize that Mr. Keller also very graciously acted as our guest speaker for the Greater Patapsco Community Association meeting this week addressing recycling, and that Mr. Keller and I had a very funny elementary school reunion. We both went to Featherbed Lane Elementary, yeah. All through 2nd to 5th grade.
Okay, all right. All right, we're gonna move on. That's Northwest Baltimore County for everybody. We'll get our geography straight. And just by the way, Mr. Keller, I'm a Woodmore Elementary School graduate, so I know that neighborhood.
Excuse me, I'm Campfield.
A Campfield. Okay. All right. All right. All right. The third item on the agenda is the Water Supply and Sewage Plan 2020 Triennial Review. This evening, a vote on the Water Supply and Sewage Plan 2020 Triennial Review, which was introduced to this board on September the 17th, 2020. A public hearing was then conducted on October 1st, 2020. Staff from the Department of Public Works are here to answer any further questions that the board may have before we take a vote. Would the Department of Public Works like to add anything further this evening? I take it that may be a no. The Public Works want to add anything further to the Water Supply and Sewage Plan?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I have nothing else to add, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all right. Are there any outstanding questions of the board members to our colleagues? Okay, if there are no further questions, I'll now entertain a motion to approve the Water Supply and Sewage Plan 2020 Triennial Review.
Be it moved that the Baltimore County Planning Board approves the Water and Supply Sewage Plan for 2020 Triennial Review dated September 17th, 2020, and recommended it to be forwarded to the County Council for approval, appropriate actions.
All right, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And that was
Bob Schweitzer.
Bob Schweitzer. Mr. Schweitzer, thank you. And welcome.
Thank you.
Any unreadiness? Not seeing any or hearing any? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
So I tell you what, and that was Ms. Wilson, correct?
Correct.
We're going to do this, and we'll do this quickly. Just for the record, I'm going to do a roll call vote. Mr. Schweitzer?
Aye.
Ms. Pinero?
Aye.
Mr. Hartman?
Aye.
Mr. Halupka? Mr. Halupka?
Sorry about that.
Yep, Ms. Hafford?
Aye.
Ms. Wolfson?
No.
Mr. McGinnis? Mr. McGinnis? Going one last time, Mr. McGinnis?
Aye.
Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Heinel? Mr. Perlow?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Aye.
And Mr. Collette, let me pronounce this right. Please help me out, Henry.
Sure. It's Caligari.
Caligari, Mr. Caligari.
Aye.
Very good. The motion passes. We move on to item number 4. Definition for dormitories in the Baltimore County zoning regulations. This item is also up for a vote this evening to approve the staff report on the proposed definition of dormitories in the Baltimore County zoning regulations, which was introduced to the board on September the 17th, 2020. A public hearing was then conducted on October 1st, 2020. Staff from the Department of Planning are here to answer any questions that the board might have before we take a final vote. Would the staff like to add anything further this evening on this item?
I have nothing to add, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fraker. Are there any questions from the board members on this issue? Okay. If there are no further questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the staff report on the proposed definition of dormitories in the Baltimore County zoning regulations.
Be it moved that the Baltimore County Planning Board approves the staff report on developing a definition for dormitories in Baltimore County zoning regulations dated September 17th, 2020, and recommends that it be forwarded to the County Council for appropriate actions.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Looking for a second from Mr. Hartman. Any unreadiness? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Unanimous vote. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is our Landmarks Preservation Commission report, which will be provided to us by, is Ms. Padilla on the line?
I am on the line, but I don't think I have the report. So let me see if I can find it. I was hoping you weren't going to call on me.
We've got you, Katie. So while you're looking for that report, Katie, I tell you what, is it okay if we do our county council legislation of interest?
Absolutely. And then maybe Chris could possibly forward me a copy.
So you have that, yes. So Chris will be doing two things at the same time.
Sorry, Chris.
That's all right. Push the button on the report, Chris, and in the meantime, you can also give us an update on county legislation.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So for the legislation of interest, we'll start with Bill 90-20, which is a bill for restrictions on parking in Greater Towson. And it's for the purpose of limiting parking of vehicles in certain areas and under certain circumstances in the Greater Towson area and generally relating to parking. Bill 9120 is a bill for planned unit developments, and it's for the purpose of requiring certain information in an application for a planned unit development, for requiring an applicant for a planned unit development to repeat a certain process if the county council does not take action on the application within a certain period of time, and generally relating to planned unit developments. Bill 9220 is a bill for parking along the Big Gunpowder Falls, and it's for the purpose of specifying the penalty for the parking of vehicles in certain posted no parking areas of the Big Gunpowder Falls, and generally relating to the stopping, standing, and parking of vehicles. Bill 9320 is a bill for taxation. It's for ad valorem taxes, and it's for the purpose of providing certain property tax credits for a senior housing development that is part of a mixed-use development located within 500 feet of a Maryland Transit Administration light rail station, and it's generally relating to the property tax credits. Bill 9420 is a bill for the zoning regulations, permitted uses for industrial hemp, and it's for the purpose of permitting the growing and processing of industrial hemp in certain zones by special exception, providing certain setbacks and limitations for industrial hemp growing areas, and generally relating to industrial hemp. Bill 9520 is for tenant protections during an emergency, and it's for the purpose of defining certain terms requiring certain notices of residential rent increases during an emergency, providing certain restrictions on rent increases during an emergency, providing certain restrictions on the assessment and collection of certain rent fees during an emergency, setting certain requirements to obtain a rental housing license and certain grounds for denial, suspension, or revocation, and generally related to the protections for residential tenants during emergencies. Bill 9620 is for the Strengthening Modernization, Accountability, Reform, and Transparency Policing Act. And this is for the purpose of defining certain terms requiring annual training of police officers in de-escalation techniques, implicit bias, the use of physical and lethal force, including techniques for interacting with vulnerable persons, providing for a specified probationary period for certain police officers, providing that certain persons are ineligible to be hired and serve as a police officer unless approved by the chief of police, also requiring police policies affirming the sanctity of and the dignity of value of all persons, prohibiting the use of neck restraints by a police officer except in defense against death or serious bodily injury, requiring police obligating a police officer to intervene to stop another police officer from using excessive force and to report such intervention, and prohibiting retaliation against a police officer who intervenes or reports. And it goes on to require certain data collection and analysis by the department, and generally relating to the police department. Resolution 102-20, approval, continuation of a state of emergency of executive order number 2020-002, which is a resolution to extend the state of emergency for an additional 30 days from October 7, 2020, which will end on November 6, 2020, or until the county executive declares the end of the state of emergency, whichever occurs first. And then on to resolution 103-20, which is an amendment to the Perry Hall Community Plan. And it's a resolution to clarify and amend the Perry Hall Community Plan as amended by resolution 6112, 6715, 1019, and 7320 to further to provide further guidance for the development of the Perry Hall community. So, Mr. Chair, that is the extent of the legislation. And Ms. Pinero, you should be receiving the LPC and promptly.
Chris, I actually already got it thanks to Crystal and also to my fellow planning board member, Mr. Heckman. I'm glad someone's on the ball today. I feel like it's a Monday, not a Thursday. So, Mr. Chairman, am I ready to continue?
You may continue.
Okay, great. At the October 8th, 2020 meeting of the Landmarks Preservation Commission, the LPC voted to issue 2 certificates of appropriateness to the following properties. Jansen property located at 212 Melockton Avenue in Lutherville. The Ocklick property located at 1602 Bologna Avenue in Lutherville. And the LPC also approved the following property to be placed on the Baltimore County preliminary landmarks list following a public hearing. Christ Evangelical Lutheran Church and Setting, located at 16530 Trenton Church Road in Upperco. And that is all we have.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Pinero. If there are no questions, then we're just about to adjourn. But before we do, I'd like to remind everyone that the Planning Board will be conducting a separate virtual citizen input meeting for the fiscal year 2022 through 2027 capital improvement program via WebEx. That will begin at 5 p.m. At this time, we will end the WebEx meeting for the Planning Board's regular meeting. Participants can join the WebEx for the community input meeting by clicking on the associated link. Board members should have received 2 links from Chris for first this meeting and then our input meeting. So now, having said that, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. We will reconvene at 5 p.m. Thank you all.